go live there. All right, everyone's gonna pop in now. I'll put this guitar down once we get people in there. Hello, citizen. Hey, everybody. Want to hear about the worst weight loss advice you've ever heard, you've ever seen? Hi there, Kara. I see Alexandra. I'll say hi there. Glad to see you. Hello, everybody. Amy Willow's here. Sam's here. Sarah's here. Fantastic. Oh, my, it's best time of the week because you're here. And Bailey's here, too. What a wonderful time. Man, this is great. We're already having a fantastic turnout. You have popped in. Oh, cool. Hello, Mr. Guitar Man. Yeah, I was just chilling out, playing the guitar, hanging out. I figured, you know what? I want some company. Why don't I hang out with some of my favorite people? I'm so glad that you're here. Love the facial hair. Thank you. I'm growing out my beard. I'm just going to see what happens because I don't have anywhere to be or anybody to see me. So I may as well. Girlfriend's cool with it. So a couple of months from now, it might be a mountain man kind of situation. We'll see what happens. Hard to stay in a calorie deficit when I'm 6 foot, 240 pounds, and lift like a beast. My calories are like 2,100 for 2 pounds a week. Yeah, because you shouldn't be losing 2 pounds a week. That's way too fast. Hello, Guitar Hero man. Oh, I wouldn't say I'm a guitar hero. Maybe a guitar villain. But is your mom cool with it? Definitely not. Doesn't matter, though. In case you're joining me here for the first time, hi there. I lost 110 pounds, but I don't give a shit about that. I give a shit about the fact that I've been keeping it off this entire time. It's been a good few years now where the weight has not come back. It's not been even threatening to come back. It's not a concern to me whatsoever. It's just gone now. I live in a different body, and that's the default. I don't have to think about it. I'm not always on the verge of it's going to come back. And that's where I feel that my greatest victory is. Weight loss is fantastic, and the picture is fun. I've got the before, I've got the after, because that's what social media likes. But I don't. Weight loss kind of sucked. I really hated it. And the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that I can take 2 pictures 1 year after the next and I look the same. That's not that thrilling of a before and after, that's for sure. Please give us hope for weight loss. Hopefully what I'm saying right now about the fact that eventually it just doesn't matter could be something that I often don't hear about that in terms of it being hopeful. You know, it's always like it's going to be the greatest thing that ever happened, and you're going to be super thinking about it all. Like, most of us don't want to think about our weight anymore. We just kind of want that to be over. We want that part to be done. So I'm really grateful that I don't have to think about my weight anymore. That's why I'm most proud of that fact. You also remember the Slim Fast shakes. Good God. They're not still selling those, or at least as a diet alternative, right? Cannot wait to be able to say that myself. Oh, Sarah, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that's I wouldn't say a module necessarily, but one of the lessons that I work with people on is that specifically is being okay with pissing people off. It's not only is it vital, it's actually necessary and non-negotiable on this weight loss journey for you to piss somebody off. You have to. Like it's going to be, I wouldn't say an assignment. But we'll get there. Worst advice I was told was to practically starve myself for a year. Oh my goodness, oh God. And I'd lose all the weight. I was told to spend all my time in the gym while I was doing that. How are you going to spend time in the gym when you have no energy? How are you expected to spend time at the gym when your source of energy is gone? 1 small meal a day. If you get hungry outside of that, then just drink 2 glasses of water. Came from someone on Reddit, go figure. Of course, it's a 16-year-old. Either that or somebody who's just been tortured by diet culture for years or decades. That's usually where all of our bad advice comes from. A lot of you are getting your advice from dieters. You're getting your advice from people who professionally lose weight, where they've made it their entire either personality or just their whole MO for their entire lives. It's just, I'm going to be in a constant state of losing weight, and when I'm not, I'm gaining it. I don't want to take advice from those people because I don't want to be like those people. So why would you want to listen to the people who have results that you don't want to have? I'm getting on Instagram. I put the topic as what's the worst weight loss advice you've ever gotten, and I'm getting a lot of people saying just starve yourself, just fast, and all that. Which is, first off, I'm glad that you guys consider that bad weight loss advice, and that we're all past the fasting mentality, because there are some people out there who are still stuck in that mindset, and I understand too. It's not like I don't get it. It feels like it's working while it's happening, because we artificially conflate hunger to weight loss, like as if it's burning fat or something like that. The feeling of hunger doesn't mean you're making progress. It means that you're hungry. It means you need to eat. You can be hungry and be in a calorie surplus. I know that was the case for me for a lot of years, or so I thought anyway. So true, and being able to buy the same size clothes year after year. Yeah, like I know that these shirts are all going to, when I go buy them, they're going to fit me. Well, how does it feel? Do you get like, do you get hit on all the time? Which, by the way, I don't get hit on ever, which I guess is a blessing in some cases, because some people they get hit on so much that it's like a curse and they hate it. For me, it has happened one single time in my social media notoriety. So but people will ask me like, do you get hit on? Do you feel like you have more energy? Are you happy? Do you have do you fit in more clothes or whatever? It's like, it's not about any of that. It's the fact that I don't have to worry about anything. Like, I'm not concerned when I have a slice of cake that like my weight's just all going to come back. That's what I'm most proud of. That's what I work on with the people that I work with. That's what I try to work on in my videos when I talk to people. I'm like, it's not about weight loss. It's about what you're going to do at the very end. What are you going to do with the rest of your life once the weight's gone? Roberto. Oh, that's fun. It is an Aldi brand seltzer, just like regular sparkling water, and then I have I've ripped the label off of this, not for any reason other than it comes off, and I was fidgeting with it, but it's like some kind of 0-calorie sweetener. Tastes really good. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, Mike, I wonder how much of that is you being a little oblivious to it. No one's. It's not. No one's hitting on me. People will joke and say like the most egregious things in the whole world. It's not like legit. Like if I go to the comment section of any of my friends, it's a fucking dog pound. Like it's just the most animalistic. Like, have my children right now. But I don't necessarily put those vibes out into the world of like, like very sexual vibes. I'm sort of like a Mr. Rogers kind of character. So, I'm not expecting it, but it's just something that I'm asked a lot and I think they're asking from the perspective of someone who wants to have more of that kind of attention. And I'll say, like, for most people, it does happen. For me, it didn't, but it's fine. Like, that's not why I got into this. I got into this because I wanted to have an easier body. I wanted to have an easier time existing in my body that I have. That's not why I got into it at first, but that's why I continued doing it. And until I figured that out, I couldn't quite level myself out. I should not drink carbonated beverages while I'm speaking, because I'm going to burp a whole bunch. Autistic and oblivious to social... No, it's not obliviousness to social cues. It's like I can read. I can see my comments, and I can... Well, it's not that I care about being hit on. I just got onto a tangent because that's, like, I'm asked about that a lot. It's like one of the more common questions, aside from like, what do you eat when you want to lose weight, or how much do you have to work out? Like, that's basically probably number 3. And I'm asked several times a day. I'm a week and a half into 75 hard, and I feel good, and I'm eating good in a deficit, but I haven't lost any weight yet. Should you reassess or just keep going? So 75 hard is not a fitness regimen. It's not a weight loss program. It's not a diet program. It is a challenge of discipline, and it offers no benefit other than the fact that you've achieved it. It's not something you can do forever. It's not sustainable. And my biggest issue with it is it offers nothing upon day 76. You reach day 76, and that's the end. It's like, all right, well, screw you. Good luck. Have fun doing something else. So if you're doing 75 hard for your health and not for your, like, whatever dignity or what, I don't want to do 75 hard. It seems really awful and difficult and sucky. If you're doing it for the challenge reason, go ahead and do it. If you're doing it to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight. Because you're not on a weight loss program. You're just doing somebody's bullshit made-up challenge. Not a fan of 75 hard, by the way. It was jokes, I'm sorry. No, I want to be able to tie my damn shoes without dying. No, I get it. That was a big thing for me. I talk about this a lot. I couldn't bend over. Back in the day, it was very difficult for me to ever bend over. And, like, I would have to stop down on the way. Like, I'd have to sit in a chair or like, have an ottoman to sit. Like, there would have to be a break in between me standing up and getting down to tie my shoes or whatever. I wish I had discovered the slip-ons when I was bigger. Or at least, had the nerve to do it back then. I think maybe back then I thought it would be looked on as not cool or whatever, but now I don't really give that much of a shit of what people think about me. Doesn't matter. You tried the 75 hard for 15 days and then decided I'm more of a 365 medium. I'm sort of a 75. I'm a 75. That's kind of where I'm at. Worst advice was to go on a week-long water fast. I quickly learned doing this and fasting in general kills your metabolism. It does. Because guess what, everybody? Your body doesn't want to die. And it's really good at not dying. Abundance and thriving and all that are very new concepts. Your body does not know what a grocery store is, nor does it know that you have access to them. It doesn't know that you can get yourself a greasy sandwich from Buc-ee's at 3 in the morning. So you stop eating, your animal brain says, we haven't killed a buffalo in about a week. So let's save all of the energy we've got. This is not me saying that starvation mode exists. This is me saying that your body is going to reserve the energy it has by, 1, slowing your metabolism down, and 2, your energy is going to be down. You're going to not want to move. You're going to be completely lethargic. So your body's going to have no reason to burn anything off, for the most part, aside from your basic metabolic functions, your BMR. Just because you feel hungry doesn't mean you're making progress. That's definitely a discipline and challenge thing because I'm trying to get my life in order, but being in a deficit at the same time, I get what you mean, though, but I've noticed I'm definitely gaining some muscle. Well, that's good. You're, a week into this? Week 2, you're going to get real tired. So prepare for that because you're not getting fueled. Amy Willow, hi there. You always preach about making sure you don't hate yourself while you do this and don't do it out of hate, but how do you stop that? I really hate how I look at the moment, and I know the weight loss will take some time, but how exactly do I make peace with how I look in the meantime? I am working on this myself. I'm not on the other side of it. When I tell you to do this not out of spite but out of love, I'm not telling you from a position of total success. It's a little bit indignant sometimes on my end. I'm like, I kind of have to force myself to do it. It's gotten easier over time with the exposure. I will call out the things that I do well. Some of you who have seen a good number of my live streams will notice that I call myself out when I say something that I don't like to say. So if I say something negative about myself, I'll call it out. If I'm going down like a bad path of self-deprecation, I will call it out, but if I do something well, I call that out too. It's just like, it's a little bit of both, where I'm like, I want to acknowledge the wins and sort of push away the internal self-talk. Sometimes you have to externalize it. You have to say it. And that's why I say it out loud. It's really just exposure that you're going to have to deal with, Amy, because it's really difficult. Also, I don't think that loving your body is a prerequisite to being successful. I don't think that being in a perpetual state of in love with the way that you look is necessary or even particularly possible. I think that you can get away from it being a menace in your life. I don't particularly enjoy the way that I look, but I don't look in the mirror with disdain anymore. It's more so like, okay, this is a body. What does it do for me? I don't really. It. I don't, like, this is still something that I'm working on to this day. You can tell, like, I've done a little bit better for myself, because this kind of talk was impossible early last year. But it's getting easier. It's just through like talking to myself and recognizing that. How much weight should I lose for you to oil up? I want the challenge. Well, I can't give you a number, because I don't know how much you weigh or how it would be safe. 10% of your body weight. Go for it. I need proof. Worst advice was, if I want to eat junk food, I can, but oh my God. Okay, so again, I mentioned on Instagram, and if Twitch wants to take part of this, I would love for you guys to take part in this. I said, what's the worst weight loss advice you've ever heard? And Mama Rat says, worst advice was, if I want to eat junk food, I can, but in front of a mirror naked. Oh my goodness. That's awful. Like, that's almost as bad as I've heard people say, put a mirror on your refrigerator, so that when you walk up to it, you have to look at yourself. Like, speed run an eating disorder, 100% right there. Like, that's how you're going to speed run giving yourself an eating disorder. By putting food into unnecessary categories, and by putting you in the category of being awful when you eat food. Like, none of that is true. It's insane. My goodness. How many of you are doing cheat days still? You guys aren't going to like this one. How many of you are doing cheat days right now? My dad used to deny my brothers and I food if we disobeyed or weighed too much or didn't get the right grades. Being hungry is terrifying. I bet your relationship with Dad is great now, isn't it? I'm sure that's just fantastic. And everything's healthy and wonderful between you guys. What a terrible thing. A dietitian gave you the advice to eat in front of a mirror naked? I'm gonna have a panic attack right now. I used to be told that I wasn't worth feeding. He's dead. I know it's not my place to say it, but what are we missing? It's fucking insane. I'm seeing a lot of really awful stuff here in the Instagram chat. It's just making me think a lot here. For anybody who has gotten here through great pain, or has tried to recover from abuse, or just extreme fear, I'm grateful that you're here with me right now. I'm grateful that you're here listening, and that you're here. If you're in my sphere, if you're in my ecosystem, there's a solid shot that you're still trying. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be interacting, participating, if it wasn't for the fact that you have just even this much belief in the fact that you can do it. You don't know what you're capable of yet, but you feel that you're capable of something, or at least worth the effort that it takes to figure it out. And after the upbringing that some of you have had, whether I know you personally or like these people here in my Instagram comments that I didn't know, you are just unfathomably strong to be here and to be, like you said here, giving yourself permission to eat whatever. And you eat way less junk food than you ever did before. No more binging and shame. Yeah, because there's no more shame to be had. It's the other day, some of you may have seen my Instagram story. I think it was yesterday. Somebody had responded to one of my posts or a story or something where I had talked about the fact that I'm not a cheap date anymore. Like, I need good quality things, and I'm worth it. And somebody had said, oh, that's just an eating disorder. If you can't have some shitty cookies from the grocery store, it's an eating disorder. I can have them. I can eat anything I want. But what I want has changed. If I want to have some Keebler Elf cookies, I will go and have them. Some of you have heard me use that example a bunch of times. The Chips Ahoy cookies. They're not that great. It's just sugar on sugar. They don't really taste like anything other than sweet. If I want to have that, and every once in a while I'm like, you know what? I'm craving the waxy trashiness of a zebra cake. I'm going to have it. And every once in a while, I'm just like, that's what's going to satisfy my cravings right now. Is that shitty goodness. It's not because I'm like snobby or better than anything. It's just like I listen to what it is that I want. That's not an eating disorder. What was an eating disorder is when I would go to Walmart and I would get the 8-pack of cinnamon rolls that are just like basically a solid slab of sugar that don't taste very good. And then I would eat that in the car. I would have bought a second one to bring home with me. I'd eat that at home. And then I would stress out all night because I knew that Walmart was going to close at 11 o'clock near me. And if I didn't get back out there to get that third, what if I want a third one? I better get back because my anxiety is going to drive me fucking nuts all night. And then I'm going to have to Google where there's a 24-hour Walmart so I can get a third pack of those garbage cinnamon rolls. Or I go ahead and I buy 1 or 2 of them from a local bakery, and they're fresh out of the oven, and they're goddamn delicious, and I'm not craving anything else for a week because I truly satisfied the craving that I had. That's not an eating disorder to be worth it. I can eat anything I want. What I want has changed dramatically. That's not true. It hasn't been dramatic. I still want for everything that I think everybody else wants. I just I make a time of it. Not because I've got to be careful with my calories, because I fucking just want to enjoy life. I want to enjoy my food. If that's an eating disorder, then call me fucking sick. I love being sick. I missed a lot of comments in that rant here, so I'll try to catch up on those because I do not want to miss any of my Twitch comments. If you guys are not over on the Twitch, you're missing out. Your PCP told you to skip breakfast. It's time for a new primary care provider because that's garbage information. That being said, if you're just not a breakfast person, which I wasn't for many years, you don't have to eat breakfast. It's not going to kill you to not have it. That all being said, if you want breakfast, have it. I now eat breakfast because it helps me stay fuller throughout the day. I used to think I wasn't a breakfast person, but I am. I like it. I like my breakfast in the morning. 110 pounds down, never coming back. Well, actually, I'm kind of lying when I say that. I'm right now, realistically, about 90 pounds down, somewhere in there. I've gained 20 pounds since my lowest, which I'm very proud of because I was underweight for a long time. I lost 110 pounds, but 110 pounds is not a healthy amount of weight loss for me. So, part of keeping it off is like finding the weight that I'm actually healthy in. The other day I came home and said I'd have a slice of fudge cake after dinner. My housemate said, oh, well, you'd better go for an extra long run tomorrow to fix that. Well, how about your housemate goes for a run so you can have some fucking peace of mind? Because what a shitty thing to say. First off, you can't even run it off. Has anybody seen that channel, that dude with the dead eyes and the monotone voice? He's like, eating 10,000 calories of crumble cookies and then going for a run. And then, he will pretend to run 40 miles at a 9-minute pace before the sun goes down. The sun doesn't move in the sky. But he finishes this entire race with no pit stains, nothing, at the very end, and doesn't throw up from eating 10,000 calories of sugar and fat in one sitting. I don't fucking think so. I don't think that's the fucking case. Oh, well, it's just education. The fuck it is. He's just showing what it would be. No, he's not showing shit. He's just... Oh, I'm going to get real mad. I don't want to get mad. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I've received lots of gross, unhealthy advice, but the one I struggled with most as someone who tends to go all in was that I had to log every bite of food in order to be successful. There was a period of time where I'm grateful that I did log my calories because it told me what exactly. One of the things it did for me was it let me know just how much food I could have. Because before I was tracking, I was nervous that every bite was going to be the one that put me over. That every drop of sauce was going to be the one that broke my calorie deficit, and now suddenly I'm in surplus mode. So every calorie after this, I'm gaining it. And it's just not that black and white. It's not the case that it works that way. So part of me is glad because one, for that reason, but two, now I've got a better idea of how many calories are in something, so I don't have to weigh everything out and think about it. But yeah, if I had done that from the perspective of I need to keep myself accountable, and if I don't watch, then everything's going to fall apart. Then yeah, I would have driven myself insane. I don't recommend that anyone track under those circumstances. Let's keep reading here. Bowser Big Bean Burrito, welcome. Giant Dad Music, welcome. Fantastic names from the both of you. Cece Wild is here. Oh, this is great. We've got a whole bunch of people in here. Let's keep reading here. 10 pounds in a month is fantastic. 10 pounds in a month is a little quick, but if you're just starting, that's realistic. That can happen for sure. If you're a couple of months in, I would say that that's just a little bit too fast. But if you are, particularly morbidly obese, that could happen for sure. Smitty has a wholesome eating disorder. What could that be? Wonder what that might be. How do you change what you want? Because right now I want to eat junk food. Well, if you were coming to me for a solution, you don't really want it, do you? It's not making you that happy if it's something that you want to get rid of. I do not want to get rid of any of the things that make me happy. The 8-pack of cinnamon rolls from Walmart did not make me happy. Those calories were meant to go to my soul and went to my stomach instead. I was trying to solve a problem that food wasn't going to be the answer to. I would feel constantly sick after I would eat that much stuff, which, by the way, you and I probably have some of the same tastes in that food. It's just that, the amount that I have is much less than it used to be because I do not value being sick anymore. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't like eating that much. There's no enjoyment for me. What is it that you enjoy? Because I'm thinking of when I want ice cream, there's this shop that's about 15 minutes away from here. They've got really, really good ice cream. It's handmade ice cream. They make all the shit in-house, and they bake the brownies there specifically. And I'm like, they can't do this at McDonald's. It's not going to satisfy me the same way. I don't want sugar on sugar. I want it to be tasty. I want to actually enjoy it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to enjoy it. So what is it that are you looking purely for volume? Is volume your measure of enjoyment right now? Or do you like taste? Because I don't give a shit about volume if it doesn't taste that good. Something that I'm thinking about all the time. Macro tracking was a beast for building muscle. Yeah, for me it was. I'm glad that I had my moment in the sun where I tracked my calories. Not calories, but macros rather. Because it gave me a better understanding of this is how much protein I want to have in a day. This is how much fat I want to have in a day. That's not going to make me feel awful when I go over too much, or and I got to keep it at a certain level where I'm not having too little either, because that's a concern. A lot of us, when we cut our calories down, we're cutting too much dietary fat out, which is bad for our hormones. So, just getting a good measure of, how much of each of the macronutrients that I really want in a day was very useful for me. Ugoid, what's going on? King Edward, hey. Oh, you were in Texas. I have learned that the food is heavenly, but the roads are hellish in that state. The roads are, I come from Jersey, so honestly, it doesn't really get worse than there. For me, anyway. It's been a little bit better. I find that the drivers here are, whereas from New Jersey they were aggressive, people are waiting. What does that mean? Oh, shoot. Hold up. I gotta go.